we are going to do Tritiya Brahman, the third Brahmana of the first Adhyaya. Even though in the previous topic there were so many details, but all those details are of no consequence. There is only one thing that matters, that is, creations don't take place in Shunyam. Appearances don't take place in Shunyam. The fundamental truth cannot be emptiness. Emptiness is a kind of a conclusion, is an error. It's amazing, Ji. Just as, the presence of a wave is a concept, it's a thought. And even the total absence of a wave is a thought. Why? Because the truth is the presence of water. I have tried to simplify the whole thing, because the presence of an object is a thought. The absence of an object also is a thought. Whereas the presence of the subject is the truth. The presence of the subject is the truth. And therefore, emptiness also is a thought. Emptiness is not the truth. When a person says, I feel empty within, is a thought. When a person says, I feel totally empty also, before life I was not, there is a thought. After death I will be nothing is also a thought. It is a thought, Ji. It's not the being. Emptiness is not. It's very difficult. This is one sentence that should occupy you for years. How emptiness cannot be the foundation. Because emptiness, either it has to be evident to the thought, or it should be evident as the self. Everything has to be evident. Either it should be evident to the subject, or it should be evident as the subject. You cannot do anything about it. If there is emptiness, then it should be evident to the subject, to the one who knows. If the emptiness is evident to the subject, then it is emptiness only in the form of a feeling, not really truth. Nor can emptiness be evident as the subject. Therefore, emptiness cannot be the foundation of existence. This is all that was seen in those many pages. Many, many pages. And then we defined the word mrityu. This word mrityu can mean so many things. In different contexts, it is different things. Shastra uses the word mrityu in the variety of meanings, so we have to be clear. Mrityu means really the very resolution of creation is mrityu. When the body dies, it is mrityu. When the breath stops, it is mrityu. When the waking state resolves, it is mrityu. Any laya is mrityu. That is one kind of mrityu. The other is Mrityu is. Hiranyagarbha is also Mrityu. Why Hiranyagarbha is Mrityu? Because he comes in the way of Virat. Like Kapala comes in the way of Ghata. I mean, we saw in a long discussion. Swamiji, that was all done before vacation. We can't go on remembering everything. Why do we have vacation? We have vacation so that we forget all that we saw, so that we can re-begin. So classes kaise continue hoga? Hiranyagarbha, every creation, like a mrit pinda conceals the pot. Very beautiful this particular analysis that Bhagavan Shankaracharya made. Mrit pinda is a creation. Mriti is the material, whereas Mrit Pinda is the creation that conceals the future creation. We are talking. That means here there is something very beautiful said. A creation can conceal another creation, but a creation cannot conceal the source. It's a huge unfoldment. Mrit Pinda can conceal Mrit Ghata. Clay ball can conceal pot, but a clay ball can't conceal clay, the source. Therefore, Hiranyagarbha is Mrityuhu. That is one meaning. Now we are going to do Tritiya Brahmana. In this Tritiya Brahmana introduction, what we are going to do is, Mrityu does not mean here. In the previous Brahmana, Mrityu means Hiranyagarbha, which conceals Virat. Creation. But in this third Brahmana, Mrityu means all impulses. Mental impurity is Mrityu. This, see, even though Grantha is too big, but there are certain highlights. You have to understand. Highlights. The essence. You have to grasp. You have to grasp the essence. You have grasped the whole Shastra. One Mrityu is Srishti, one given creation, Hiranyagarbha. And there it was also said, the entire karma kanda can only take you up to Hiranyagarbha. Means what? You can gain something in the creation. You are within the creation. You are traveling within the creation. You are moving you can only move towards better and better creations, not to the source. Did you follow that? Karma Kanda can help you travel inside the creation. Maybe from Pakistan to Switzerland. That is the travel. Once the punya is exhausted, back from Switzerland to Pakistan, Muradabad. Karma Kanda can only take you to Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha is supposed to be the best point in creation. Whatever it is. So the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad begins with the description of Ashwamedha Yaga. Ashwamedha Yaga is the best of the karmas, rituals. And the best of the rituals can only give you Hiranyagarbha, which means karma kanda cannot take you to the source. It can't solve the problem. Once you have, very beautifully, once you have explained the entire karma kanda includes not only Vedic karma kanda, all that you can do, independent of Veda. All that man can do, independent of Veda, is a part of karma kanda. And all that is said in Vedic karma kanda is also karma. Karma kanda means any action, any empirical action, any religious action, Vedic ritual, any human effort in any form. Efforts can only bring you material results. And material results have gradation. Better, better, and better. And where does this gradation end? Does the gradation end? This gradation doesn't end within itself. Gradation cannot end inside the creation. Gradation ends where the creation ends. Gradation ends where the creation ends. Like the gradation of the sounds ends in silence. Is it not true? Bhimsen Joshi is better. Who is the other man? He's very, very good. What is his name? Jasraj. Pandit Jasraj. You know, with Jasraj and Bhimsen Joshi. Similarly, Balamurali Krishna. You know, that's Dakshin Balamurali Krishna. Kumar Gandharva. Balamurali Krishna. I sometimes wonder whether Balamurali Krishna is singing or that Pan Paragwala is singing. Because without that Pan Parag in his, he can't sing. Alright, there is a gradation among all these great singers, very great. They are all called Gandharvas, really. You have to be a Gandharva to be born like Balamurali Krishna, or in the previous life they must have been Gandharvas, really, yes. Some Gandharva sanskara. You cannot really learn sweet throat, can you? It's a bestowed, see, amazing. You are born with a sweet kanta. Some sanskara, some gift, God's gift. Alright, they have got gradation. Let us go into our topic. Where does their gradation come to an end? Where does the gradation come to an end? Silence. The differences among themselves come to an end in silence. In silence, there is no gradation. What looks like a gradation in silence is not to be taken as a gradation in silence. Gradation is only in the sound. The gradation in the sound looks like gradation in silence. Gradation in impurity is read as gradation in purity. Actually, it is a gradation in impurity, impulses. Purity is the being. Anyway, impurity is otherwise also called mrityu. Ashwamedha Yaga, which is the best karma in karma kanda, cannot give you what you want. Then how can the other karmas give? When the Shruti tells, even Ashwamedha Yaga can only take you to Hiranyagarbha, not to the truth, will you not have Vairagyam for Karma Kanda? If Veda gives you, when Veda prompts you, when Veda presents before you Karma Kanda, and which Karma Kanda can only give you something inside the creation, who has to give you Vairagyam? Same Veda has to give you Vairagyam. Must tell you that this Karma Kanda doesn't give you what you want. It is non-eternal. Veda glorifies the results of Karma Kanda. Veda also highlights the limitation. When it glorifies the results of various lokas, when it glorifies the results of various rituals, when it glorifies the pleasures in the creation, you get a desire for them, raga for them. When it highlights the limitation of them, you get Vairagyam. Generally, those who recite Veda, they only recite the glorification of the results. They don't recite the limitations. When the Veda recites the limitation of the lokas, they put cotton in their ears. समझ में नहीं आया? हम नहीं सुनना चाहते हैं सारी बातें. We want to hear only the glory of the results, the pleasure, so that we can go on perform. And Naitkar Siddhikara says very interestingly, if they appreciate Karmakanda so much, why can't they appreciate Vedanta? Well, Vedanta is just, is a part of Veda, it's all next to each other. This side of the leaf is Karmakanda, that side of the leaf is Vedanta. Sir, why do they miss the Vedanta? Naitkar Siddhikara himself answers, he says, वो जब यज्ञ करते हैं ना इतनी धूम होता है, वो धूम से दिमाग खराब हो जाता है. Their absolute, their mind is clouded with the smoke of the rituals. Just a way of saying, he is not running down anybody. Anyway, so far what we have seen is the glory of Ashwamedha Yaga and the limitation of it. And therefore, so far what we have seen is the glory of Karma Kanda and limitation of it. You can't run down Karma Kanda, you can't also bank on it. This is called balanced. You can't bank on it, you can't run down it. It's useful but not the answer. It's useful but not the answer is the totality of the balance I am telling you in life. Money is useful but not the answer. Children are useful but not the answer. Their affection for you is useful but not the answer. Everything in this life is useful but not the answer. Can you just improve upon the balance? Is this not the balance in life? Total balance. You will not make a mistake in life if you follow this balance. They are useful but not the answer. Even Janaka also had the kingdom. It is useful, but not the answer. To appreciate that the things are useful, you must be extremely practical. And then to say that it is not the answer, you have to be extremely wise. Wow. You are a complete thinker. So therefore the first and second Brahmanas establish the glory of karma karna and also limitation of it. Clear? And now Tritiya Brahmana we are going to begin. Now let me tell you, I want you to see the connection. Having appreciated both the glory and the limitation of karma kanda, then what are you left with to be done in life? Then you have to go for jnana. And in order to go for jnana, you have to prepare yourself for it. And for which you have to have mental control. And this lack of mental control is what is called, the impulses are called mrityu. How do you overcome the mental impurity which is called mrityu? This is going to be a very beautiful topic. Aram say it is something to be enjoyed. The whole Brihadaranyaka is something to be enjoyed. It's not something to be rushed through and forgotten. You know, whenever you rush through, then आप इसका दृष्टांत देता हूँ. वो कौन सी मार्केट है which is most crowded? जिसमें not खान मार्केट. हाँ जी. हाँ, काबली, हाँ. चौड़ी, what is that? What is that? No. Khali Baudi. Is there a place called Khali Baudi? एक बार गया था, हमने 30 साल के पहले वहाँ पर मैंने बैठ लिया है भगवान, हमको I can't get out of this now crowd. You do something. You move from one end to the other end of Khali Baudi, and when you come back, how many of them will you remember? You rushed through the crowd. How many of them will you remember? That is why when you rush through, by the time you reach the other end, you have forgotten. Therefore, when you do the Shastra in a rushed manner, when you rush through the Shastra, you remember nothing. Studying should be imbibing. It should be imbibing. Right in the class, the enlightenment should take place. Right while listening, you should be absorbed in peace. Yes. And now, once I know the glory of karma kanda and also the limitation of it, then all that I am left with to be done is prepare myself for jnanam and gain jnanam. And how do I prepare myself for jnanam? And purify your thinking. And how do you purify your thinking? That is the topic. This is what is called the Udgita. Udgita. This is the Udgita Prakaranam ji. Udgita. All this will come, don't worry. But right now you have to understand. The meaning of the word mrityu is, one is Hiranyagarbha, the other meaning is mental impurity. Clear? As we proceed, when we reach the fourth adhyaya, there the mrityu is going to mean dukkham. Dukkham, papam, sapam. They are all interrelated, ji. Karma, papa, dukkha, these are all interrelated. Because a word can have many meanings but interrelated, but can't have more meanings unrelated. That would be a contradiction. Very beautiful. The Shankaracharya says at one place, the same word having more than one meaning is anyayam, he says. It is unfair. If a word has more than one meaning, it is unfair. How do you really write something? How do you convey the truth? And if there is a word which has more than one meaning, supposing it has two meanings, then there is some kind of affinity. It can have 10 meanings with affinity. It all should be read as one meaning, really. Ultimately, it means one meaning. Like, you say life. In whatever way you interpret, every meaning of the word life has affinity with other meaning. Life can be breathing. Life can mean thinking. Life can mean just enjoying the world. Oh, there is no life in this country. Means there is no enjoying. So life can mean being lively. Life can mean just breathing. Life can also mean thinking. Life can also mean so many things. But all of them are related. They are all interrelated. Hiranyagarbha, a pleasure in life, in the world, is one meaning. Mrityu can mean Hiranyagarbha. Mrityu can mean mental impurity. Mrityu can mean karma. Mrityu can mean sin. All of them are interrelated. Are you able to follow this point? It's a very big clarity, see. Interrelated. Okay. Let us read now. Dvayaha ityajyasya kaha sambandha. Dvayaha. Dvaya means two kinds of. Prajapati, the creator, had two kinds of sons. Two sets of sons. Dvaya. Generally, we always say so and so person had two wives. But for a change here, the Vedanta says has two kinds of sons. Not step-sons or anything. Two kinds of real sons. Dvaya. So this particular Brahmana begins with the mantra. Which mantra begins with Dvaya? The Brahmana which begins with the mantra which begins with Dvaya, Ityasya, Ityadyasya, is Brahmana ka. Kaha sambandha? How is it connected to the previous? Are you able to follow? How is it connected to the previous? This is what is called Sambandha Bhashyam. When a person says something, he must show the connection between what he is saying now and what he said before. This is what is called Sangati. This is what is called context. This is what is called Prakaranam. These are all words you must pick up, you must imbibe them. When the Upanishad says something, it shows the connection to, it is called Purva. And it also shows the connection to Apara. Purva and Apara. That is called being clear. When you are saying something, you are also showing the connection between what you are saying and what you said before. And the connection between what you are saying and what you will say. In which case, your teaching will not be tukka. You know tukka? Yes, talking in air, जो मन में आ गया बोल दिया. मन में आया आप नित्य मुक्त बोल दिया आप नित्य मुक्त. बाद में मन में आया आप मुक्त नहीं है बोल दिया आप मुक्त नहीं है. This is all. This is what is called consistency. Now here the first line asks the question, Bhagavan says, Sir, what is the connection between the present Brahmana and the Brahmana that has gone? Clear? Karmanam jnana sahitanam paragatirukta karmanam, for all the rituals. Karmanam, that is a plural. Jnana sahitanam, all the rituals along with their associated upasanas. Baba. All the rituals along with the mental upasanas, mental imaginations, mental prayers, karma, desire-oriented prayers. All desire-oriented rituals and all desire-oriented prayers. A desire-oriented prayer is called upasana. Man ke andar ka. Supposing you sit down with eyes closed and think of Bhagavan Ram, and then that is all upasana. ठीक है? Karmanam jnana sahitanam paragatihi, the ultimate result, the supreme result, the ultimate result of all the rituals, desire-oriented rituals and the desire-oriented upasanas. Paragatihi. Ukta has been mentioned in the previous Brahmana. In the previous Brahmana, what was mentioned was the ultimate result of all the rituals, desire-oriented rituals and all the desire-oriented upasanas. Ukta. What is that result? Mrityu atma bhavaha, mrityu atma bhavaha, becoming one with Hiranyagarbha. Mrityu atma bhavaha. Reaching the best pleasure inside the creation, reaching the best realm inside the creation is the paragati, he is the supreme result of all the desire-oriented rituals and upasanas. How can you conclude that? Ashvamedham Ashvamedhagatyuktya. The previous Brahmana only says that Ashvameda's result can be only Hiranyagarbha. If Ashvameda's result can only be Hiranyagarbha, then the entire karma karma is only Hiranyagarbha, because there is nothing greater than Ashvamedha. Baba. Ashvamedha Yaga is the best Kamya karma. Thus, what is the connection between this Brahmana and the previous Brahmana? This is the connection. In the previous Brahmana, the glory of the Karma Kanda and also the limitation of it was highlighted. How can you say Hiranyagarbha is limited? My dear sir, reaching Hiranyagarbha is not the answer, because having reached Hiranyagarbha, you will still be a jiva. It is not, the problem is not the temporariness of a pleasure. But even if you have a continued pleasure, even then you are a jiva. Pleasure is not the answer. Even the continuity of the pleasure is not the answer. It is not the temporariness that is the problem. Even with the pleasure, I feel I am limited. I am a jiva. As an enjoyer of pleasure, I am jiva. Therefore, even reaching Hiranyagarbha is not the answer. Atha idanim, but now, mrityatma bhava sadhana bhutayo. Mrityatma bhava sadhana bhutayo. The very means to achieving Hiranyagarbha is found in Karma Kanda. But within the Karma Kanda, we also have a way out of Mrityu. Karma Kanda gives me a means to Mrityu. Karma Kanda also gives me the means to get out of Mrityu. Now, see, it's not easy for you to understand. Kamya karma comes where? Kamya karma is found where? In Karma Kanda. Nitya karma also is found in Karma Kanda. So Nitya karma is a part of Karma Kanda. Kamya karma also is a part of Karma Kanda. So if you do Kamya karma in the Karma Kanda, Kamya karma takes you to Hiranyagarbha. Nitya karma takes you out of Mrityu, the mental impurity. That is why it is said, try to follow this, Mrityu atma bhava sadhana bhutayoho, karma jnanayoho. Karma and jnanam, there can be desire-oriented karma and desire-oriented jnanam means upasana. There can also be mental purity-oriented karma and mental purity-oriented upasana. Karma jnana yataha udbhavaha, जिससे उत्पन्न होता है, तत् प्रकाशनार्थम, and in order to unfold it, Udgita Brahmanam arabhyate, and now Udgita Brahmana is begun. Now I will explain it, don't feel let down, Swami ji kuch samajh mein nahi aa raha. Udgita is the prayer. Udgita is a kind of, Om is the Udgita is a kind of a prayer that purifies the mind. And this Udgita Brahmana is going to be begun now after understanding the glory as well as the limitation of the Karma Kanda. Udgita Brahmana is begun. Why should you begin the Udgita Brahmana now? It is simply nothing but Nitya Karma ji. After understanding the limitation of the Kamya Karma, then you concentrate more on Nitya Karma. That Udgita Brahmana is a kind of upasana which is meant to purify the mind, which we will see. Now I am asking you a question. After understanding the limitation of Kamya Karma, after understanding the limitation of the desire-oriented upasanas, in sequence, what is the next step? Only Udgita Brahmana. Udgita means mental purification. If creation is not the answer, then the source is the answer. And to understand the source, I must have a good mind. And for which there only sadhana is Udgita, meaning prayer to is amazing. This is something. Shastram never says just by will, etc., or by reasoning, etc., you can purify the mind. It always says mental purity comes through only prayer. Amazing. This very shastric. It has a magic thing. When you pray to God and mean it, purity comes. Supposing you only say it and don't feel it intensely. When you say to Bhagavan, hey Bhagavan, मेरी बेटी को खुश करो, खुश रखो. मेरी बेटी को अच्छी तरह से अभ्युदय दो, प्लीज ब्लेस हर टू बी हैप्पी. कैन यू से इट? यू ऑल्सो मीन इट. इन दैट मैनर यू शुड मीन. When you say to Bhagavan, hey Bhagavan, give me mental purity. Is it easy to mean that way? Baba. Very difficult, you know, to mean. And if you mean it, one could engage. Thus now I am not going into all the details. Previous Brahmanas talk about the limitation of the karma kanda. The third Brahmana introduces the Udgita Brahmana. Bas. Clear up to this? Nanu, and now the Purva-paksha begins. This will clarify a lot of things. Mrityu atma bhavaha purvatra jnana karmanoho phalamuktam. पूर्वत्र पहले बताया था मृत्यु आत्मा, अचीविंग हिरण्यगर्भा, becoming, reaching Hiranyagarbha was mentioned in the previous Brahmana as the result of the Jnanam and Karma, the desire-oriented upasanas and the desire-oriented karmas. Jnana karmanoho phalamuktam was said. In the first two Brahmanas, the Shruti does talk about the result of the entire karma kanda is only reaching Hiranyagarbha, which is otherwise called Mrityu. Why it is called Mrityu? Because every creation can be called Mrityu, because it conceives the future creation. Are you able to follow? And that is one meaning of the Mrityu. Purva-paksha asks a question. In the previous two Brahmanas, you did talk about Mrityu. In the third Brahmana, again, you want to introduce Udgita to overcome Mrityu. There you wanted to reach Mrityu. There in the previous two Brahmanas, the Shruti said, karma can take you to Hiranyagarbha, the Mrityu, and now you are introducing Udgita Brahmana to overcome Mrityu. What does the Mrityu mean here? There it is reaching, here it is overcoming. How can there be any sambandha? Is it not a clash? First Brahmana and second Brahmana. Patiently here. First Brahmana and second Brahmana talks about reaching Hiranyagarbha. Third Brahmana seems to be talking about overcoming Hiranyagarbha. Is it not a contradiction? Or the word Mrityu should mean something else here. And in fact, this Purva-paksha has been introduced here to tell the students, sir, the word Mrityu there means something. The word Mrityu here means something else. There it is Hiranyagarbha and here it is mental impurity. Are you able to follow? Udgita jnana karmanostu. Udgita jnana karmanostu. Udgita karma and Udgita upasana. Dono ka. Mrityu atma bhava adikramanam. Overcoming Mrityu. Phalam vakshati. You are going to say future. You are going to say, the Shruti is going to say in future, after a few verses, it is going to say during the course of the third Brahmana is going to say that the Udgita Brahmana is not meant to take you to Hiranyagarbha, it is meant to overcome Mrityu. Phalam vakshati. Ataha therefore, bhinna vishayatvat. They have two different topics. The previous two Brahmanas had the topic of reaching Hiranyagarbha. The third Brahmana has the topic of overcoming Hiranyagarbha. ठीक है? So they have two different topics. When they have two different topics, then they have no affinity. That means कोई संबंध है ही नहीं. One of the Shatlingas, one of the glories of the Shastra should be, there should be connection. A person becomes trustworthy only when he talks what he spoke before, must have connection to what he is speaking now. There is no self-contradiction. When a person is talking and if he is not contradicting himself, then he gains the status of being a pramana. He becomes a pramana bhutam. If the Shastra also is contradicting itself, previously it said something and now it says something else. Previously it did something and now it wants to undo it. It's a contradiction. Bhinna vishayatvat phalasya na purva karma jnanodbhava prakashanarthamiti chet. Up to that it means, sir, in the previous Brahmanas, the topic was to help the jiva reach Hiranyagarbha, and now we want to overcome it. Therefore, there is no affinity between the two. Therefore, you can't say Udgita Brahmana comes from the same Karmakanda. Udgita Brahmana cannot come from Karmakanda because previously the previous Brahmana said the entire Karmakanda is meant to reach Hiranyagarbha. How can the same Karmakanda be used again? Overcome it. Understand? Hey, you said the entire Karmakanda is meant to take you to Hiranyagarbha, now how can the same Karmakanda be used or something out of that Karmakanda, some means, how can something else from within the Karmakanda can come and take you beyond Karmakanda, overcome it? Now this is the Purva-paksha. And now the answer is going to be what? Hey, there the word Mrityu means Hiranyagarbha, and here the word Mrityu is mental impurity. If this is not made clear, Purva-paksha cannot be answered. Purva-paksha will be right. Are you able to follow? If the previous Brahmanas are highlighting the limitation of even Hiranyagarbha, and now the third Brahmana gives you the means for mental purity, is there affinity or not? Yes. Like between the first step and the second step, there is affinity. This is what is called krama. Krama. Snatva, bhutva, gramam, gacchati. Adhikrita adhikara bhava. When you have a bath, you are qualified for eating. After you have eaten food, you are qualified to go. To sleep or to go. In my case, snatva, bhuktva, shete, shayanam. For some people, this is what is called in Sanskrit adhikrita adhikara bhava. Try if you can pick up this great phrase. You cannot be qualified for the second standard unless you have done the first standard. Once you have done the first standard, you become adhikrita. You become qualified for the second standard. This is what is called adhikrita adhikara bhava. Okay? Now between seeing the limitation of karma kanda and doing nitya karma, between the two, is there affinity or not? Nobody does seriously nitya karma unless he sees the limitation of kamya karma. That means what? It is not as I see the limitation of the kamya karma, I also take serious interest in nitya karma. This is what is called adhikrita adhikara bhava. And I am trying to teach you certain things, which you may be even reluctant to grasp it. But then your reluctance is of little importance to me. I am not reluctant. I teach for my pleasure, not for your enlightenment. I am only teaching for my anandam. I teach for my anandam. Because there is no anandam in this creation better than Shastra. Stupid is a man who uses the Shastram for something worldly. Use the Shastram for Brahmanandam. Use the Shastram for Brahmanandam. That Anandam you can't have. Even if Obama hands over his chair to you, कुछ नहीं, कहीं भी कुछ भी नहीं. Yes, but there is real Anandam in Shastra. I am telling you, there is real Anandam. Nayam doshaha. Now the Shastra, the Siddhanti answers. There is no flaw, sir. The same karma kanda giving you the means to reach Hiranyagarbha, and also the same karma kanda to help you overcome mrityu. Same karma kanda helps you to reach mrityu. Same karma kanda helps you to overcome mrityu. I can give it, I can simplify the matter. The same karma kanda, or I would say the same Veda, not karma kanda, same Veda. The same Veda glorifies the karma kanda, the same Veda highlights the limitation. Follow it. Or the same karma kanda gives you kamya karma, it also gives you nitya karma. There is no contradiction. Why? Because between kamya karma and kamya karma slowly gives you vairagyam. Nitya karma slowly purifies the mind, prepares you for jnanam. There is no contradiction. There is no contradiction. In the south, it is said, there is a particular shloka where you can never become a moksha kami without ever performing kamya karma. Without burning your fingers in life, you can never have vairagyam. You can't be a moksha kami. Without seeing the limitations of kamya, without seeing the limitation of this world, you cannot have a serious desire for moksha. Serious desire for peace. When does a man crave for peace? And he is miserable, is it not? Can a man have a serious desire for peace? No. He will have desire for peace, but through pleasures. Through objects he wants to have peace. But when the objects nag him, people nag him, pleasures nag him, the targets that he had kept nag him left and right, then he will have, "Hey Bhagavan, thoda sa shanti." Similarly, when a person is tired of sansara, he will have vairagya. Same Veda gives both. Nayam doshaha. There is no flaw, sir. Just and I am concluding. Agni aditya atma bhavatvat udgita phalasya. Udgita is something that has got connection with Agni and Aditya. Udgita is something that is connected to Agni and Aditya. And how it is, we'll see. Agni Aditya is a Devata. Agni Aditya is a Devata. And the entire Kamya Karma also is addressed to Devata. Are you able to follow? I want you to technically understand. Kamya Karma relates to Devata. Indra is Swaha, Varuna is Swaha, etc. is all what? Devata related. Even Udgita is Devata related. Kamya Karma is Devata related. Even Nitya Karma Udgita is Devata related. Both being Devata related, both can come from Karma Kanda. No problem. No problem. Okay, we'll continue it later. Try to absorb. This is something, there are certain technicalities which can be little boring sometimes for you. But then what do we do? What is the alternative? Ji? You want to have South Indian rasa and you don't want to have red chili. ये कैसे चलेगा? Swamiji, I don't like कड़ी पत्ता. ठीक है. I don't like mustard. अच्छा, ठीक है. I don't like red chilies, but I love South Indian rasam. फिर रसम कहाँ है इसमें? फिर कहाँ है ये रसम? I like Shastram, but I don't want these technical terms. फिर Shastram कहाँ है? Don't fear certain technical terms. Don't allow yourself to be intimidated by certain small terms. Be strong, because you are the truth. If the truth gets intimidated by the literature about itself, the entire Shastram is a literature about the truth, and that happens to be you. And if the truth itself, the topic itself gets intimidated by the literature about it, तो फिर कहाँ जाएंगे जी? Be strong. In fact, it is most useful to be strong while studying the Vedanta. It is most essential to be strong while studying the Shastra. Because while studying the Shastra, you may come across certain things, you may find it difficult to grasp. During that time, you must be strong. And say, make an effort second time, make an effort third time, because understanding it assures you Brahmananda. Understanding every word assures you Brahmananda. Ananda means total peace. Om Purnadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamādāya Purnamevāvasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Ji, Hari Om Ji.